Deputy Ciara Conway.
And to follow on from my good friend and colleague, Deputy John Lyons, he talks about the equal right to civil marriage, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of gender. But equally, I would say to him, it's a great source of pride for parents around the country to submit their child's wedding photograph to the local paper, be it the Longford Leader or the Waterford News and Star. And I can't wait for John's ma to be able to send his wedding photograph into the Northside people when we pass this referendum in May, because not only do the mas and the das of the country take great source of pride, it's a great source of embarrassment for us, their children. But and as somebody who has been relatively recently married, I can't wait for that day for my friends, for my colleagues, and for my family members to be able to experience that wonderful joy that it is to be a married person. Some of the people who speak out against this referendum talk about, the issues around family and the issues around children. But I would ask those people who speak out against it, if you are a married couple and you don't have children, does that make you any less married than somebody who does? We know that it doesn't. It also causes great offence, as other speakers have spoken about, to men and women around the country who have lost their partner through death and have raised those children as widow and widowers. Were they any less married, or are they any less of a family? No, they were not. But I think what we need to be really careful about is about young people who are at home, who have listened to the radio stations, who are listening to the TV debates, who are reading the stuff online, the newspapers. When they talk about something being wrong with being gay, or about wanting to marry the person you love, we have to be very careful that we look after these young, vulnerable people that Deputy Neville has spoken about who have great difficulties in maybe coming to terms with the fact that they're gay, but that there are adults and opinion formers, community activists, community leaders, leaders of religious organisations who somehow say that that's wrong, that the feelings that they have are wrong. And that, I am very glad to say, is absolutely not true. This country has taken great strides to make the issues around homosexuality and lesbian people, to include them. I mean, it is actually a source of great shame that it took until 1993 to decriminalise homosexuality, showing, even though it was quite a number of years ago, it is still very recent that change happened on our statute books. So I am very proud to be part of a government that is putting this question to the people of Ireland. Do you believe that people who love each other should be allowed to make a declaration to say, I do? And I believe, regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, that everybody in this country should be entitled to that day out. Every ma in the country should be entitled to wear her hat, and every dad should be entitled to tremble at the thought of making a speech at that wedding. And that is something that I believe strongly in. And for the first time in a long time in politics, I'm excited about this campaign. There is a great sense of positivity about it. We are doing something good, something momentous. We'll be the first country in the world to put this question to popular vote. A risky strategy, but one I hope and I know that the Irish people will be able to deliver on. And I'll finish by this. I was contacted and have been engaging with a really wonderful family lately who told me of their young son that they've adopted from Russia, and he is gay. And they brought him to this country for a better life. And they told me with great distress that if he was still living in Russia, he would be imprisoned, or maybe bet up, or maybe killed by the regime that's in place over there. And this family and his friends want Ireland to send up a signal to say, we are a progressive country that treats all our citizens equally. And I believe for that young man, for his family, and for families right around the country, the people of Ireland have to and must come out and vote yes in May. But I think it's important that we realise that we just don't talk to each other, the people who are going to vote yes, the ones who have made up their mind. We need to get out and talk to people who maybe this isn't on their agenda and maybe they haven't their mind made up, because we must ensure that there's a good turnout, but we must make this real for people. And we never know what's down the track for our children, for our nieces, our nephews, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers. We don't know what's going to happen or who may come out in years to come. But I know I want to be part of a government and as part of an Oireachtas and as a legislator where we can give the equal rights to say I do to all of our citizens, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. So I thank you, Minister, for your work on this, and I look forward to working with you until polling day in May.